Last week, I held an online coaching session talking about the history of agile estimation, and we discussed two primary estimating approaches, story points versus lead time, to compare their similarities, differences, and the applied scenarios. When I collected feedback from the questionnaires, I found some people were curious about the core spirit of story points and the real application in a team. I'm not sure if you had suffered from poor discussion with the team. When you brief the content of the product backlogs, the team members always say they are clear about the requirements, or only some of them are asking further questions to clarify the details. When the product backlogs are put into the implementation, some people start complaining about unclear descriptions or inconsistent understanding to the same requirements. You might be murmuring, shit, why don't you review your questions in the very beginning, but complain as all the things are going on. Hello guys, I'm Andy, your Agile Coach. This channel aims to talk about Agile practices from life cases in a comprehensible manner, boost the team collaboration efficiency with Agile methodologies, and help people adopt the Agile mindset in their daily life. If you don't want to miss any valuable Agile content, subscribe me and open the ring to receive my weekly updates. In this video, I'm going to talk about the meaning of story points, the step-by-step guide to leading team collaboration with it, and the ultimate objectives of this tool. If you are a product owner, a scrum master, or a manager, please be patient and watch this video till the end. I believe it's helpful for you to get people aligned with objectives, cost-effective teamwork, and enhance transparency when clarifying the same product backlogs. So let's get into today's role, story points. What is story point? In my 7th episode, I had once talked about 3 common misconceptions of story points, and I briefed the basic definition of it. The story point essentially represents how much effort, risks, uncertainty, and complexities an item should take to bring a product backlog to life. Usually, it is a relative measure of the amount of workload. Some audiences might feel abstract to this explanation, so let's take a real example to describe the concept. For example, there is an item requiring a person to move 100 bricks from place A to place B, and another item requiring a person to move 200 bricks from place A to place B. If we define the formal story point as 1, the latter should be defined as 2 to reflect the relative measure of workload. The amount of bricks they move reflects how much effort they should take to finish the work. This is a simple case to describe the relative idea of story points. But you might question, what about risks, uncertainties, and complexities I have mentioned? Well, you got it. In fact, in Agile project management, we are handling complex work that varies as environment factors change, especially when a group of people, not an individual, is working on the same product backlogs. There are different thoughts among them toward the same product backlogs, not to mention their experience, seniority, and skill sets. So we need a tool to help us trigger more conversations among the team, to clarify hidden risks, uncertainties, and complexities, to get people on the same page for product backlogs. Usually, we apply the tool in a sprint planning meeting or a grooming session to evaluate the amount of work of product backlogs. As more knowledge is learned from releases, the estimation evolves and gets more precise. If you are a newbie to StoryPoint and would like to adopt the tool to assist your team clarify requirements more effectively, I'm going to give you a common 5-step guide to applying StoryPoint, and I strongly suggest you try it for some product backlogs after watching this video. I expect to see your replies on the channel. The first step is the product backlog briefing. To kick off the StoryPoint adoption, you had better find some simple product backlogs for the first time to let people get familiar with estimating the workload. In the beginning, you should brief the content of a product backlog, inclusive of the role, the action, and the expected result an item is going to deliver. At this stage, your objective is to provide an overview of a product backlog. The second step is the group discussion. And then you need to lead the team to collaborate on defining the tasks that need to be completed to fulfill the product backlog. At the stage, the team talk about the complexity and effort involved in each task. This can include factors such as the size of the task, the amount of work involved, the potential risks and uncertainties and any dependencies. For example, if we want to move 100 bricks from place A to place B, the team might brainstorm several solutions such as moving by hands, moving by a car, or adding more people to finish the requirement. The product backlog is related to how to do, what kinds of resources to allocate, or capability limitation. These factors are to be taken into account to find a better solution to it. Also, the product owners, stakeholders, and executors are encouraged to participate in the process. The third step is the story point estimation. After the group discussion, the team have an overview of how much effort to take about the product backlogs, and then the members should estimate the product backlog based on the previous discussion. Everyone should assign the product backlog with a value they think appropriate to represent the workload. Usually, we tend to use a planning poker. Everyone choose a card to represent the story point. The fourth step is eliminating discrepancies. However, not all people have the common thoughts toward the same product backlogs, even they have gone through the group discussion. At that stage, you start discovering some people have different points that are far from each other. That implies there exists some difference in their brain regarding the same product backlogs. In my opinion, I will acquire two folks who have the largest bias of story points to share their ideas toward the same product backlog. What makes them choose such a number to stand for the workload? From the process, the members could clarify the ideas with each other and refine tasks further if there are any new discoveries. As the process is done, I will require the team to re-estimate the product backlog to see if the story points converge to an acceptable level. If it does, jump to the next phase. If not, repeat eliminating discrepancies and estimation processes to seek consensus. It's common for team members to assign different story points for the same product backlog. I fully encourage open discussion to understand why each person assigns a specific number of story points. This can help the team to identify any discrepancies and ensure that everyone is on the same page. The last step is reaching consensus. After repetitive estimating and eliminating discrepancies, the story point would have converged to an acceptable level. So we will apply the number to represent the workload of a product backlog. In a phase, we could basically confirm most engaged people have reached the consensus for the same requirement and know the details of it. We will follow the pattern to populate product backlogs. The idea of story points was invented almost 20 years ago. At the time, extreme programming was the most popular agile framework prior to the Scrum and the Kanban method. Extreme programming was totally for engineering work, and it proposed many important modern engineering methods such as unit testing, TDD, code review, pair programming, and story point. As the story point was invented, you could imagine even 20 years ago, managers also suffered from unclear discussion, poor collaboration, and ineffective communication among a team. The story points can help trigger dialogues among members. For example, if one team member assigns a higher number of story points to a story, while another assigns a lower number, this can indicate a difference in their understanding of the story. This discrepancy can lead to a discussion, which help the team to clarify the task and reach a consensus. If you are the first time to use the pattern, I strongly suggest you take a simple product backlog for the team to get familiar with the rules. Additionally, try to find the product backlog the team approved to be the base of one, so they have a common base to compare. Story points are a unit of measure used to estimate the effort required to complete a user story or task. Before introducing story points to your team, it's important to have a clear understanding of what they are and how they work. To ensure everyone is on the same page, it's important to educate your team about story points. You can provide a brief presentation or workshop to explain the concept of story points, how to assign them, and what they represent. It's also essential to explain how story points differ from time estimates. I hope the video gives you an overview of applying story points to trigger more dialogues in the team, and I expect to see you in front of the video to take the action to apply the pattern soon. If you like this video, thumbs up, subscribe me, and comment below if you have any questions. I'm Andy, your Agile Coach. 拜拜。